Hey y'all, welcome back to At the Table podcast, a virtual table where we discuss all things young adulting. My name is Fikayo and thank you so much for having me back in your ears. All right. So today we are going to be talking about the seasonal blues, the autumn blues. I'm really excited for this conversation. And if you are not new here, you know exactly what we're going into. We're going into our two segments. And first off, we start off with what have you been snacking on? And if you are new here, what that basically just means, like, what are the current happenings in your life? What is going on? What are you doing? How are you doing it? And for me, what I'm currently snacking on is I'm reading A Little Life. And it's so bad to probably be reading this specific book like during the time that I'm going through like autumn blues, but it almost feels befitting. And I don't recommend it. First off, let's start there. I do not recommend the book at all. It is like very sad and very traumatic. But it feels so real. I don't know. And it's really good. It's really good, but I'm like only 200 pages in, and the whole thing is I have it right here in front of me, actually. I'm looking at 809. So it's about 800 pages. So I still have a long way to go. So hopefully by next week, I'm able to tell y'all and update y'all on the book, or 2 weeks from now, update you guys on the book and say it wasn't that bad, or be able to properly recommend that, yeah, it's a book from hell, never read it, as a lot of the reviews indicate it is. We're going to move on quickly. And what have I been praying about? Okay, so I have been praying about like my emotional health, obviously, as per this episode. And we will get into it, well, really right now. Yeah, now officially this episode has officially begun. So yeah, these last few weeks, I shouldn't say these last few weeks. Really, it was just this specific week. I've just kind of been down, like just sad. And let me tell you what started it, okay? On what day was it? Friday, Saturday, I got into a car accident. But I should also say someone hit me, so it wasn't my fault. I'm gonna spare y'all the details, but usually in my life, right, I'm very protective of my circle and of my space and my bubble and the atmosphere I exist in, right? And this whole year, especially since I'm prone to depression and anxiety, I'm very, very intentional about it. I don't go places where I don't think I'm going to feel good. I don't do things that don't make me feel good, because like I just have to be very careful of my emotional state and mental state at all times. So like this whole year, I've done a very good job in kind of altering that space to be generally positive or good and uplifting and motivational, just and loving, like just sunshine and rainbows everywhere. It's everywhere. And I'm very, very intentional about that, because that's the type of life experience I want to have. And then this accident happened, and it was almost like it blew the air out of my lungs. It was like, oh, I don't know how to explain it, but it was slightly traumatic. It wasn't like that bad, I'm fine, I'm okay, everything's good. My car is not like totaled or anything, but it was just, and again, it was my first accident. So I've never, ever been in a car accident before, at least that I was driving, So it was definitely, first off, a new experience. And it was traumatizing, just the whole experience around it. Like, even the people that hit me, they were just Oh, they were horrible, like cursing me out. Here I am, like the person who hit me is like much, much, much older than I am. And here I am, like 23. I went to Sonic to go get a corn dog and ice cream. You cannot make this up. I went to Sonic to go get a corn dog and ice cream. I was coming back home and he hit me and he's yelling and they're cursing at me and his family's cursing at me. And I'm like, I just wanted some ice cream. um, but yeah, and my like my people weren't there and their people were there, and it was just a horrible experience. And I think that experience has followed me into the week, and it's been like annoying because it really did like bust my bubble. It busts my bubble. It made me realize that like this year I was so concentrated on the internal things, internally keeping me happy, internally like taking care of me and doing the world, like making the world that I want. And then this week reminded me that like outside factors can come in and outside factors can play a role. So it's kind of annoying, and it feels like it just really threw me off axis. It really, really did. And then I was like just a wreck this whole week and just emotional and crying and just sad and sad and sad. And I haven't been sad in a while. I haven't been sad to this depth in a while. And I don't know, like I just find it hard to believe that it was only maybe the accident that did it for me. I don't know. So I'm just gonna like put it under autumn blues as well because I felt like it was creeping, 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 but this accident definitely like boom, yeah, done. So this week has been definitely a week for Addie for me, and I'm just trying to figure it out. Anyway, I know that some people get seasonal depression. Usually, though, I don't get seasonal depression around this time. Usually, my seasonal depression, especially when I was in school, was in February. I don't know what it was about February. I don't know why it was February. But it was always really bad around that February coming into March, and my anxiety would get up and I just get really sad. But it seems like right now I'm trying to navigate some emotional whatevers as well. And one thing that I'm trying to be intentional about doing is surrounding myself with friends, at least, or talking to people. And it's really annoying because it's during this time that I've actually been avoiding. I think I've spoken to people the least this week. I just can't handle it right now. I think I've definitely been off of social media this week and last. I just can't handle it. So I have to remember like I'm not an island, and that's what's happening, right? Like my brain is telling me like you're all alone, you're by yourself. All you do is like go to work and sleep and then wake up just to start the continued cycle again. And I have to continue to tell my brain that no, that's not what's happening. I can't let, the devil's whispers win. So I'm constantly trying to combat it. So I'm trying to reach out to friends, and I'm trying to not be alone while I'm trying to figure out this mental space. Another thing that I've been doing a lot lately is also exercising. And it's really just to be able to get myself out of the head frame of like of being the victim or of being sad. It's really to push myself. Like first off, to push myself and be able to push my own personal physical boundaries. Oh my gosh, my alarm just went off. Hold on. Yeah, as I was saying, to be able to push my own, like, the physical boundaries, but also to be able to focus on something else. Take me out of that body experience, especially when I'm running or weightlifting. Those are the two that I seem to really enjoy, running and weightlifting in conjunction. And the running just allows me to combat my thoughts. And it depends on how I run, really. So whether I do a slow jog outside allows me to think. If I'm doing like a fast interval training, which I'm trying to start doing at the gym now, especially since it's starting to get cold outside and it's darker in the morning, I've been doing more treadmill running, but especially on there doing interval training where I'm completely out of my head, where like the only thing that I need to do is keep my feet running and my eyes up straight. So both runnings like are really, really helping me, really. And running slow really helps really a lot because I'm running and I'm thinking, but I'm not out of breath. But in that moment, there's nothing I can do about my thoughts, you know? There's nothing I can do about my stress. It's just to feel them and let it go. It's a form of meditation. So I really enjoy that. But in weightlifting is just nice because it feels like I get to fight with a bar and pushing and pulling on a bar. But that's really good. What else have I been doing? I'm trying to do social things. So I'm trying to, well, not social things, but I'm just trying to make sure I leave the house and not necessarily have only 3 places that I go to, which is church, work, and home. I'm also trying to be cognizant of not being in places that don't serve me or that make me feel even sadder, at least right now while I am like in the middle of these mood swings, I guess. Like I need to wait until I stabilize, I believe, before I start putting myself intentionally in places that I do not need to be in or that usually will change my mood. There was another thing somewhere that I've been going to therapy, of course, right? And sometimes I've talked about this over and over and over again, but therapy sometimes is, do you hear the way I talk, y'all? So therapy sometimes is just a way for me to be able to unravel my thoughts really, really, and be able to say everything that I'm thinking and then either get it confirmed or denied by a professional. So anyway, I've just been going to therapy, kind of reaffirming the things that I already know and then denouncing. Is that the word? Denouncing or throw away the things that aren't for me, that don't serve me. Yeah, I've been doing that. And there was one more. It has ran up on my head, but there was one more somewhere. But yeah, I'm really trying. You know, this week when I was thinking about this podcast and thinking about what I'm going to put out, and I was like, I told myself every Friday. Well, first off, I was thinking about not doing it. And then I was like, no, I've told myself every Friday. And then I was like, I just don't even know what to tell them. I don't have a story. I don't have tips. I don't have the motivation. I don't have any of it. And then I remember something in me just saying, that's what you made this podcast for. It is supposed to be the journey of young adulting, right? And it's not just all ups and triumphs. It isn't. It's the ups and downs. It's the good days. It's the bad days. It's the growth, right? And apparently this is growth. Apparently. But yeah. I don't know. It's almost 5 a.m. on a Friday morning. I just, whenever I know I need to have a podcast done, I can't sleep. So I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I was lollygagging. I watched Big Brother, and now I'm here. And I have a long day ahead of me, but it's a good day. I'm going to get my hair done. I'm going to get my eyebrows done. I'm going to go to the library and get some work done. And then I'm going to go to the gym with a friend. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So, a long day. Tomorrow I have a wedding. And hopefully I could plan for next week as much as possible. So when next week comes, it doesn't throw me off the rails. But that's really it. This is me. This is me. Yeah. I think maybe this is the shortest podcast I've ever done. But bear with me. We'll be back in full effect soon. We're just under maintenance right now. All right, my dear. It is time to clear off the table. Please, do you hear me? I'm asking you, please. Give us 5 stars and give us comments on Apple and Spotify and all the things. It really does go a very, very long way for us. And yeah, post us on your story and tag me, and I will repost. Yeah, I'll repost your posts, and I'll let you know that I see you and I love you, and I really, really do. And speaking of that, if you want to see the face behind the voice, follow me at Fikayo. And then, of course, you can follow the podcast Instagram at the table _pod. K-Mass, what else, my dear? I don't know. If you're going through the autumn blues, I love you. If you're not going through them, I also love you. For the fact that you're listening to this, I love you. And please, please, please remember to pray all the time and laugh really freaking loud. Bye, y'all.